welcome to marvellous Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. John Hindhaugh with Shea Adam in the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre for the Mustang Challenge. We started a new era of Ford one-make championship racing yesterday, and what a cracker it was, with all kinds of incidents, some accidents, but plenty of entertainment, the way we liked it. And the pony cars were absolutely up to the task. The new Ford Mustang Dark Horse are in the pit lane and ready to go. And what a race it was yesterday. We're just outside of Lexington, Ohio, for a real driver's track with the keyhole, then down the hill. We'll start actually at the kink of turn 3 and then head through turn 4, 5 and 6 madness, round to Thunder Valley and up to the carousel. The first racing lap will end at the finish line, which is not the start line. And our first race was yesterday. Tyler Maxson on pole position in the orange and black car. Looked to have got a decent start, but toughing it out around the outside, further around the lap. And we had number 1 of Chloe Chambers getting suspension damage that curtailed her race, and Maxson under pressure going off at turn 6. That began a tremendous fight back. Robert Noaker, his team owner and teammate, was right in behind him. There was no contact. Meantime, we had Zach Lee in the Chrome Mustang, absolutely bossing the Legends class and pulling off the track at the bottom of the hill at turn 6. He was a real gentleman. There was a lot of respect there. That left the multicoloured number 8 of Tom Tate in the lead of the Legends class, and he brought that one home to victory, but there was no stopping Robert Noaker, who goes into the history books. That's the answer to the quiz question. Who won the first Mustang Challenge? Answer, Robert Noaker. So that clearly puts him at the top of the championship. Shea Adam joins us today for her first look at the Ford Mustang Challenge for 2024. Cars that look and sound fantastic. And Shea, we've already got a problem in the pit lane with Wesley Slimp, who was involved in a couple of little biffs and bangs yesterday. His number 47 car from Precision Performance Motorsport not getting underway.
No, he's the only one that's left in the pit lane. And hello, John, hello, world, and hello, Ford fans, because when those engines fired up more than 500 horsepower per Dark Horse, it was a very guttural reaction, and an instinct from race fans puts a smile on your face straight away. But not a great day for Wesley Slimp yesterday. Wound up with an incident responsibility penalty as well, post-race 10 seconds. Moved him down to 15th, so I'll keep an eye out our Ford Global Performance broadcast booth to see if that car does get fired and rolling, because this is the first of our pace laps. This is the only one. They're going to get packed up and paired up coming out of the keyhole, as you rightly say, to take the green flag in a, well, inconspicuous space on the racetrack.
Used to be, I think, the only place where the finish line and the start line were in different places, but Detroit, where Shea was last week, is similar. Now now is Wes going to get out just before the cars come through? I don't think he is.
Pit close light is on, John.
However, the race time, the 45 minutes, is starting. So they will pack up now, but that means he hasn't lost a lap. He will just get onto the back as they've effectively gone through to start the race. He won't start from where he was expecting to be, which was in 10th position. Outside of row 5, he's still being held by the pit lane official. Wesley Slimp now gets waved away and will join on right at the back. He's going to have cold tyres, but a very, very warm driver. Ready to go at the front of the field. Tyler Maxson, Robert Noaker Racing, double pole this weekend. Can he convert? He had a fast car yesterday when he came back from down in 20th position. Sam Paley was quick yesterday too at the sharp end of the field. And Nate Cicero and Brandon Godovic were there as well. Robert Noaker, yesterday's winner, only on the inside of row 5. Row 3, Jeremy Fletcher alongside him. Reid Sweeney, Chloe Chambers, Alex Patura and Max Opalski with Lee Zachary. The best of the, second best of the legends as we go green. It is Alex Patura who was on pole for the legends. Over 45s and a spin early on and damage early on. And the yellow flags are out. And that is the number 2 car that's taken some of the damage at the sharp end of the field, Max Opalski. But there's a car stranded at the top of the hill as well, and that was the black car with the gold stripe on it. We saw that one right at the sharp end. That's Reid Sweeney for Robert Noaker Racing, who now Chloe Chambers had to go right to the outside in the blue number 1 car. I think she might have shaved the tyre barrier on the grass there. Yes, she did, but missed an even bigger impact there, so she had to have her wits about her. And she's only in for this weekend, and further round the lap, another spin. And we have a full course yellow while we have clear up. So it was clean at the start of the race yesterday. It got untidy in parts. But Shea Adam, we have started in the worst possible way here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that from my vantage point, that looked like Max Opalski missing his braking point and just barreling into the back of the black and gold car. As you rightly said, John, Chloe Chambers avoiding action, and then further around the lap, Tom Tate becoming a victim. I think it might have been Nick Smither who got into the back of him, but I wait for, it could be Marco Ventos yesterday, actually, because now...
It is Marcos Ventos, yeah.
Marcos is in the pit lane now, as also into the pit lane, the number 31. So the black and gold car has made it all the way around. That's good. Should make for a shorter yellow as Reid Sweeney pulls into his pit box, and missing a left rear tail light as well for that Mustang.
Well, the good news is that the team will be able to go to their local Ford dealer and order one of those tomorrow. One of a huge number of parts that are absolutely interchangeable between the Dark Horse R and its road-going stablemate. Ford, of course, bring plenty of spare parts here, both the racing bits and the more standard bits, but in an effort to keep the costs down and make it more accessible, Ford Performance deliberately have issued a huge dossier that goes with every one of these cars when they are delivered, and amongst that is all the part numbers that are interchangeable between the standard car that you can buy at your local Blue Oval spares counter at the service centre and straight onto the race car. Absolutely brilliant piece of thinking from everyone at Ford Performance, and it does mean that if you've got to get back home and have a short turnaround time, get your car prepped, get back to there, and I mean there's a Ford service centre pretty much close to everybody, isn't there?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I think there's one about 9 miles from the track here, to be honest. It probably isn't open today, in fairness, but it was open yesterday.
I would imagine that all of the employees at the Ford dealership are here around the track today to watch this race. And yes, it is one of those cool things that if you happen to want one of these cars, they are accessible. It's $145,000 for one of these race cars. A bargain. They are delivered in white, but with the Ford decals. And I am so pleased to see that the first weekend of this championship, there are very few plain white cars. Everybody has designed them up and put their touch on it, and the field looks fantastic.
Behind the safety car then at the start of the race, the number 31 Reid Sweeney car in the pit lane for Robert Noaker Racing, but it's Tyler Maxson who has held on the lead. Now, he did this yesterday, then halfway through the race, just clipped the curb at the bottom of the hill at turn 6 and went off onto the gravel, managed to get through the gravel, a bit of rallycross there, and then expertly drove around the outside. It's the left rear that the mechanics are going to work on. They've got the big adjustable spanner out there, and coming out of the pits, Marcos Vento for the JV Racing team. This is the Valvoline number 18 car that's coming back out. He was involved, I think, in the second incident further round, again at the bottom of the hill at 6 going up to 7. I also see at the back of the field Tom Tate for MDK Motorsport, so he's moving again. Max Opalski is going again. So after the first incident, the major part of the field got through. Tom Tate got spun around, and yeah, that was Marcus Vento for JV Racing Team in the Valvoline car. And everybody got through. The problem was at the bottom of the hill that Max Opalski with a very damaged front end, and that's the car, I think, that is not going anywhere, sitting. In fact, it's got the front end lift now,
yep,
and it is on the way back to its team in the pit lane. So Max Opalski Racing. If you recognise some of these names I've been shouting out, well, that we have seen a number of these teams and drivers in other IMSA sanctioned series. Ford have really appealed to the drivers. Super important for them. Spoke to them long before this was announced, and Ford absolutely wanted to be on the IMSA package. IMSA is quite a busy sanctioning body, and it wasn't the easiest thing to add another 27 odd cars, and there will be more cars coming, by the way, but everybody wanted to make it happen. It has happened. This is the first race weekend. Shay, you were up at the manufacturing plant a couple of weeks ago to see the Mustangs being turned out, and there's a lot of pride about this latest 2024 Ford Mustang, and particularly the Dark Horse and the Dark Horse R.
Yeah, I was privileged enough to get to go to FRAP, which is the Flat Rock assembly plant. It's up in Detroit, just outside of the city, and it's where all the Mustangs are cranked out of. They do 320 on an 8-hour shift. They only do one shift a day, so this is not a 24-hour factory, but it basically means that there's a Mustang rolling off the line every 40 seconds. It's so cool. They have this full process that they go through where the cars come from being a shell to being a full-blown car, and the chassis, when they're going through, one of them might be destined for Hertz. It might be a future rental car, whereas the next one, well, it had race car written on it. A very neat process. We've now got Wesley Slimp, by the way, serving his drive-through penalty from starting from the pit lane, so that has been accomplished, so that should be one ticked off the list. So good for
under yellow.
Under yellow, yeah, that's an interesting one, but it might just be serving the feature of, hey, I started last and now I need to reestablish that. I'm not sure if that penalty can be served under yellow. I'll have to consult the rulebook on that one. But we talk about the car delivery. The cars haven't been delivered with a great deal of advance warning, which is why it's even more impressive that they have the full liveries on them. As a matter of fact, there was one team that had signed up for a car and they didn't get it delivered because of a variety of different things. None to do with Ford, by the way. It was to do with private teams, so they didn't get their car. They showed up at the racetrack on Wednesday and went, hey, do you guys have any spare cars? And Ford went, we've got one that's just come out of the factory, but it hasn't even been shaken down or anything yet. And they went, great, we'll take it. And by the way, that car yesterday was driven to second by Mr. Michael Stillwagon. That's car number 9 in the field. So this is the level of creativity that we have and the level of working with the teams that Ford Performance is doing. They're knocking it out of the park.
35.5 minutes to go. The Mustang Challenge brought to you by Ford. Built Ford Proud. Great to have your company wherever you are around the world. Ford Performance bringing us this phenomenal piece of kit. And by the way, you're watching and listening in the UK. Yes, there's a right-hand drive Ford Mustang. There has been for a little while. And yes, you can get the Dark Horse as well. I'm ridiculously excited about that. Can't wait to get my hands on one. Let's go back to green flag then. Just under 35 minutes to go. Great work by our safety team and our track services, and already into the carousel. One of the MDK cars. That's the number 8 of Tom Tate. He's having an eventful second race, burning the Michelin rubber as he gets the foot to the floor and releases all of that Ford horsepower. Still Tyler Maxson, who is leading out. Now, Tom Tate, I think, got a little bit of a... yes, it was a little bit of a hip and shoulder there from the automatic racing car. Was that Shane?
That was Larry Webster, but
Larry
what was Tom Tate trying to do, trying to pass people going through the carousel when the green hadn't yet waved again? That might be looked at by race control.
Fair point, well made. And as ever, nicely presented by
Thank you.
my co-presenter, Adam. Now in the sunshine, in the early morning sunshine here, kicking off our Super Sunday with the Ford Mustang Challenge. Big V8, lot of horsepower, engine in the front, driving the wheels at the back, and a 6-speed stick shift. Yep, proper gearbox. As this is back to roots racing for Ford. 3-pedal cars these. There is a auto bliff feature. A lot of the drivers would use that. There will be heeling and towing down through the box. Flat shift on the way up. Cross the line. First proper racing lap at speed. Robert Noaker in 4th position. Yesterday's winner in the blue and white car, just off the leading 3 as they head up to the keyhole. Time certain race, 33 minutes to go. Side by side, Maxon in the orange and black car, the tiger stripe car. I gave him a nickname yesterday, Shea. He's now Tyler Tiger Maxon, obviously with the car that colour. He's going to lose the lead here, going through the kink and turn number 3 and down in the braking area before China Beach. Sam Paley, we know how good Sam is from working in MX-5 and Miatas. Even in his rookie year, he was at the sharp end of the field there. He goes to the lead, and Nate Cicero in the darker coloured Ford Mustang goes up the second. So Tyler Maxon, our pole sitter, held the lead for a long time yesterday, went off at turn 6, right where they are now, and lost the lead. He dropped down to 20th and fought his way back just off the podium by the time we got to the end yesterday. It was an awesome drive. So that orange and black car here, we know, is very quick, as is the car behind him. His team owner and teammate, Robert Noaker. So Maxon and Noaker, the teammates now in 3rd and 4th.
And there's a long way to go in this race. Sorry to be the first one to say that, but with 32 minutes near enough left on the clock, there's a lot of racing left to be had. But Sam Paley to the lead for the first time in today's race with Nate Cicero right behind him. Sam is such a cool cat. He is part team owner of this organization, Southern Paley Motorsport. And I was talking to him the other day about the added pressure of being a team owner as well as a driver. He said, well, I've been a team manager before for a kart team. That's TKG on the right rear and left rear quarter panels of his Mustang, by the way. He said it's just a little bit different because all of a sudden I'm the one signing the checks instead of getting the checks signed to me. But Sam was saying how physical it is to drive these cars, that normally he gets blisters on his palms after about a 30-minute stint. He said, oh no, in the Mustangs, I'm up on the wheel so much, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. So right now Sam can relax his hands a little bit. Oh no, he can't, because Nate Cicero's gone around him and gone off the track.
That's exactly the same sort of incident that Tyler Maxon had whilst in the lead yesterday, just understeered off, except his mistake was down the bottom of turn 6, which is where that black MMR car is now. Now, did he get just a little bump as he went through down to the bottom of the hill? No, he just outbraked himself, took too much speed in that 82. Nate Cicero, who was in the lead for what, 25 feet, maybe 50 feet, not much more than that. Cicero to the lead for McCumbee-McAleer Racing. Sam Paley now holds it back again as Cicero has dropped way down. He's somewhere around about Jim Farley, who's in 16th position as the leaders come across the finish line. Oh, inside pass at turn 1, that would be very brave indeed. And it is brave, and it's completed. Tyler Maxon pulled off an absolute belter there. Got a really good exit from the carousel onto the short chute that contains the finish line. And, oh dear, it is the 82 car. Nate Cicero is off in the gravel, and this time the MMR car is not coming back. This will be another full course yellow, I'm afraid. But what a pass from Tyler Maxon, and it's still on behind him as they go through the kink and turn 3. That is steeply downhill. 1, 2 and
Yellow's
a half
out
across the track. As the yellows come out now, who's got the second place there? Is it Maxon or Noaker? I think Noaker might have been through there. I actually think Robert Noaker might be given that second place, as the 52 has gone off as well. That's Christian Bach from Core Motorsport. So 2 cars in the gravel here. 52 is Christian Bach, 82 is Nate Cicero. Oh, Nate's not going to be happy with himself. That all started from him going for the lead share, dropping off, maybe just a little bit frustrated and tried to make it all up in the next few corners. He's gone off at turn 11.
That is important because Christian Bach is off at turn 1, John, so they were two completely different incidents.
Separate incidents, correct. Yeah, good spot there, Shea. An awful lot of gravel at turn 1. It's a super quick corner, and that's why that pass by Tyler Maxson to take the lead was so impressive, because you do not slow down that much for that corner in these cars. You're balancing the car, little lift, possibly a dab of the brakes, and then straight back on it hard. You ride the curbs on exit just to straighten the car up. Well, down through the years, in fact my early years of following motorsport, Ford dominated rallying with the Escort, and then Group B with RS200. Not sure the Mustang was made for off-roading quite the way that Nate has taken it out there, but our hard-working and outstanding AMR safety team already on the scene.
Best in the biz.
And very sensibly using the very, very long rope there. Don't put the recovery vehicle in the gravel and get yourself stuck in it. At turn 1, that is still going on. And we've got the long toe strop to pull out Christian's car.
We needed.
Christian's car is being somewhat recalcitrant
at
the moment.
I think for that incident, we need a Ford F350 Super Duty as our recovery vehicle. That would have it out there in no time. But for Christian Bach making his IMSA debut this weekend, he started in Lucas Oil Schools back in 2022, and then he got the bug, Ford Racing Performance School, and moved him into NASA competition where he ran in the American Iron class. So this is a man for whom this series was created. His dream is to race Mustangs, and he's getting to do that this weekend. Not going exactly the way he'd planned, but for Christian Bach, it's a long season. And when we go to Watkins Glen in just a couple weeks' time, I'm sure he'll get back on the horse straight away.
Very good. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Now, I reckon because of the very quick work, our AMR safety team don't amble up to a car, and they don't amble away from it. They jog to it, they run to it, and they know racing. And I think they might have got Christian Bach out to get back around and not lose the lead lap. I'll take that back. He's just off the lead lap, I think, with the leaders coming through to complete lap number 9. Yeah, and he will get lap 8 next time around, but having only dropped 1 lap on a short circuit like this, that is exceptional. 25 3/4 minutes to go. Tyler Maxson leads from pole position. Sam Paley in second from Robert Noaker, yesterday's winner, in third. How did Tyler Maxson get back to the lead, by the way? That's we had Sam Paley leading. Oh no, he got back the lead at turn 1. Of course he did. We described the pass for the lead, that outstanding pass for the lead.
And it was the battle between Paley and Noaker for second that we were questioning which car would be ahead of which, and it is Sam Paley. But look at who's in 4th position now, John. It's Jeremy Fletcher, and then in 5th, Brandon Godovic for PPM, and Brandon's looking for a bit of redemption after yesterday's race as well, finishing in the 14th position. Brandon is a guy we're used to seeing at the head of whatever race he's involved with, and sometimes those happen to be NASCAR races as well.
Let's take our Ford Performance team update. 3 cars for Robert Noaker Racing, and it's not a bad haul for them at the moment. First with Tyler Maxson. Second, their second car is in 3rd, the number 13 of Robert Noaker, and in 12th position is the number 29 of Mitch Marvosh. Now, notice the difference, the red and the blue class, and we've been asked this on at IMSA Radio from Rilla Strowski. What is the difference between the red and the blue class? I'm pleased you've asked that. I'm pleased you've asked that, Will. Thanks for tweeting in. Dark Horse is red. Dark Horse Legends, that's over 45s and either a bronze or non-FIA rated driver. That is the blue. And one of those is the number 33 with a little bit of splitter damage on that dark grey car. That looks an absolute picture. That's Alex Bachura leading the class, but to the right front, that aerodynamic splitter underneath the front air dam is wafting around in the breeze. Now, Shea and I have watched many different single manufacturer races down through the years, and anyone who has that piece of rubber on the front, it is normally, Shea, really, really important, completely out of proportion with the size of that piece of rubber. And that is going to be a problem for Alex Bachura in that olive drab number 33 with the orange stripings.
But this is Alex Bachura's favorite track that we go to, and he is so happy to be a part of this series. A man who's an oral specialist. That is his profession in the line of dentistry. He's raced in IMSA competition for a very long time. He's been a part of IMSA since, at least 2014. He's a guy who, it doesn't matter if the car's falling apart around him, he's still going to drive the wheels off of it, perhaps literally. Alex did not get to finish yesterday's race in the manner that he wanted, didn't get to finish it at all, as a matter of fact, looking for redemption. So honestly, John, I think we could have bits and pieces hanging off of Alex Bachura's car. He will will it to the finish line, especially with the shot at a win.
Shea, Adam and John Hindhoff, good to have your company. Thanks for being with us, wherever you're watching in the world. Really good response yesterday after the first race, and quite clearly capturing the imagination of people in the US and further afield. The question has been asked a few times, will we see this category of car outside of the US? Well, I'm not speaking for Ford here, but I suspect that that will be being looked at, given the great take-up that the teams involved in IMSA and further afield have shown in this car. It is a back-to-basics racing car. It's a perfect place to come and learn close quarters racing. Safety car lights are out, by the way, and it is very cost-effective. Remember what I was saying earlier on, there is a huge dossier that comes with these cars that includes all of the part numbers that you can just go to your local Ford dealer and buy. And they're not that expensive for a purpose-built racing car to start with. Nothing in racing is cheap, I accept that. Back to basics, cost-effective racing. Oh, hang on a minute, it must be Ford Mustang. It has a historic ring to it. Black to green, just under 21 minutes to go. Racing heritage times 27 as we started out. Here we've lost Max Sapolsky after that first lap incident, and Tyler Maxson has jumped out to a decent lead. Round the outside, Brandon Godovic in the red, white and black number 46. That's a car that you can't miss. He was pretty impressive yesterday, but didn't get the result he wanted. He's side by side at the moment with Jeremy Fletcher in the blue and white number 22. And Robert Noaker has got up into second. Pearley trying to fight back. Maxson right there at the front of the field. Now these two drove away yesterday. Maxson, Paley, Noaker. Top five just spreading out a little bit. Gab Tesh is the MDK car in sixth position. That's the yellow and black machine. And still with just under 20 minutes to go, Shea, you're not putting the house on who's going to finish on the podium, never mind who's going to win this race.
Definitely not. But I can say that there have been penalties handed down from race control, so it's unlikely to be either of the two cars that I'm going to mention. Larry Webster in the number 99, that's the automatic racing Ford Mustang, and Marcos Vento in the number 18 for JV Racing Team. Both have been handed 10-second penalties for instant responsibilities with Tom Tate. So both drivers, having come into contact with Tom Tate, have been deemed guilty, as off goes Cal Kearns in the number 66 Ford Mustang, the one with leaders written on the side. Hopefully he can regain position, as into the pit lane come both of our drivers. So they're serving drive-throughs instead of taking the time penalty. Very, very smart.
Well, I presume, is that not a stop and hold?
It's a stop and hold for Webster, but it was issued the same penalty as a 10-second incident responsibility. Okay. Marcos drove straight through. Webster is in the penalty box with Tommy right now.
Well, some of these drivers just getting used to IMSA competition, of course. Plenty of battling going on. The number 22, Jeremy Fletcher, that's the blue and white car, side by side with the 26. That's Sam Paley, and that is a new third position car. Kudovic sits behind them in fifth position with a watching brief at the moment as they go over the top of the brow at turn 9 into Thunder Valley. And weaving their way through turn 11. Such a difficult corner, turn 11, because it slightly tightens on you, and halfway around the camber changes. Really not helping you if you get offline there. Then the carousel. Keen-eyed viewers, and I will describe this for the listeners, but if you're watching on live and free via our video player at imsaradio.com, top left, I know it's a radio site with video linked to it. Keen-eyed viewers will note a change of surface here at Mid-Ohio. There's been a lot of spend on the infrastructure here at Mid-Ohio since the last time IMSA were here a few years ago, 3 years ago. Always one of the favourite stops on the calendar. Always get a good welcome around these parts. And there's plenty of places to go and have something to eat as Jim Farley comes up the inside in that heritage livery from the first Mustang win up to the keyhole. And I think Jim misjudged his braking point there. And guess what? It's the number 8 of Tom Tate again, who is involved in it. It was a very audacious manoeuvre from the man who heads Ford globally. He tried to bail out or give Jim Farley his due. He's a very experienced racer, and he realised, I think, he wasn't going to get pulled up, went on the grass, but couldn't avoid contact with Tom Tate.
Wesley Slim.
His car. Wesley Slim, not Tom Tate. Yeah, Wesley must think his car's got a Mustang magnet in it at the moment after yesterday. Looks like Jim is continuing. Robert Noaker, in his quest to snatch the lead from his teammate Tyler Maxson, has just put in the fastest laps of the race at 1:31.339. Hello. If it wasn't for the fact that you were in the Ford Performance Broadcast Centre as well, Shay, I think this was yesterday. It's exactly what we saw yesterday with these two teammates. They qualified and locked out the front row for the first ever race of the Mustang Challenge. And this is what we were treated to for getting on half of the race. Let's see if Tyler Maxson can keep his concentration this time. He was clearly annoyed with himself for making a slight error. And they've pulled out a couple of seconds, almost 3 seconds on the chasing pack, and that in this form of racing, Shay, is quite a big advantage.
It really is, and we need to remember that this is a season-long championship, 10 rounds across 5 race weekends, across 5 of the most iconic circuits in the U.S., and there's 10 bonus points on the line during each race. You get 10 points for pole position, and then 10 points for the fastest lap. So Robert Noaker, even though he's chasing that lead, even though he wants the most points for winning the race, and he wants to win all the races this season, let alone this weekend, he's also trying to get as many points as he can, because you never know what's going to happen in the future races. So Robert Noaker right now trying to do everything he can to claw back a championship advantage. Wesley Slim did make it back into the pit lane, by the way. After that contact, he did have a right rear tire go down.
Yeah, Yeah, it's the 47 Precision Performance motorsport car. Under 15 minutes to go now, so the last third of the race. Let's find out who still has performance in their tyres. In the Legends class, Alex Batura still leads. Zach Lee in second in that chrome Mustang, number 48 car at the keyhole right now. But there are cars between them. Alex is 7th in the general classification. Zach is 9th, and that's DJ Randall in the core car between them, Shea.
Yeah, it is. And Zachary Lee, after yesterday's race, is looking for a little bit of redemption. Becoming McLaren racing driver, had the pole position for both races this weekend, but didn't finish the race yesterday. So now he's looking at the back of DJ Randall's car going, please move, please move, please move. I would really like to get to Batura and have a shot at the lead and potentially the win. And you know what? Zach Lee, he's a patient driver. He will get there.
Very fair driver as well. He was well up inside the top 10 overall yesterday when whatever it was befell that chrome Mustang, and he immediately looked to get off the track. I think he knew that it was an issue. It came on pretty quickly, and I'm speculating that it might have been something electrical, but I don't honestly know. I haven't been able to speak to the team. He got off the racing line straight away going down the hill. He was going down the hill at turn 6, immediately pulled off to driver's left, where there is a gap in the wall there at the bottom of the hill. He'd clearly done the track walk properly. He knew where he could seek some safety, and I don't even think we needed double yellows, to be honest. He got it so far behind the wall as he just coasted in, even on the grass, that we were able to continue the race. Really respectful for the rest of the competition. Down to the last 12.5 minutes now. In the Legends, Batura from Zach Lee, from Nick Smither, who had an up and down day yesterday, but that was a fast car, that number 58. The white number 9, still wagon car. That is one of the few cars that is at white because they got it so late. The automatic racing number 9 of Mike Stillwater. He's hanging on to a position inside the top dozen, and at the front of the field in the dark horse class with the red number panels and the red door mirrors, it is Tiger Tyler Maxon. Is it better Tiger Tyler or Tyler Tiger? And which way around do you think it should be?
Tyler the Tiger. He's great.
Yeah, thank you. You had Frosties as well when you were little, didn't you?
Oh, yes. The other thing about the car is that they identify the red numbers on the door panel, on the numbers on the windscreen, but then the wing end plates. And it's a really subtle touch, but you notice when you see the cars up close and personal, the different color distinguishers for the classes. It's a really, really good idea.
Yeah, that red goes all the way across the rear wing for the Dark Horse class, the blue for the DH Legends. Again, wing end place, and all the way across the gurney flap on the back of the wing as well. No difference in the cars, it's the drivers. 45 and above, so long as you're bronze or not FIA rated. So if you're 46 or 47 and you're a silver, you're in the red class, you're in the Dark Horse class. If you're bronze or not rated, and you're over 45, I might just fit into that on age. Only just, mind you. I would be in the blue class. Through to about 10 minutes to go, and plenty of battles down the field as we've been mentioning, and for the final step on the podium, Jeremy Fletcher fighting a little bit of a rearguard action at the moment. He's lost touch with the leaders to the tune of about 4 seconds. He can see them off in the distance, but he's more concerned, Shea Adam, with Sam Paley and Brandon Godovic sitting in behind. So these three are very accomplished drivers that we've seen in IMSA competition. Maxon, Noaker, Fletcher, Paley, Godovic, all names that you and I have called in the past.
Oh yes, all drivers who are used to being at the front of grids and IMSA competition of very differing varieties. The same goes for Alex Bashura and Zach Lee in the Dark Horse Legends category. These are guys, DJ Randall and his dad, Rod, they're guys that we've known for a very long time. And it was such a cool thing. The other night I was speaking to a team owner who said we used to race Ford Mustangs back in the day when it was a different brand. It was a different variety. But then we got priced out with the new cars. As Gabe Tesh has gone for a spin up at the keyhole. This championship, though, John, this is bringing back those good teams from a long time ago because this is an affordable option for racing, and it's still really, really good racing. Now, let's see what happened to Gabe Tesh. Was he unassisted? Ooh, Alex Bashura was there.
Not sure you can convict Alex from that. Let's have a look.
Nope, he was innocent on that.
Was the daylight? I think he... How quick was that yellow flag out at the keyhole? The Ease car, then the 16 car with that lightning flash paint job down the side, the orange and black with the white divides. Looks like Tesh has got underway. Was there daylight between Bachura? Oh no, there's a little touch. Alex might get a penalty for that. He did his best to avoid. He really did. But there's a bit of damage there, and off has gone Brandon Godovic.
No.
Godovic, who was in 5th position, coming out of the carousel onto the start-finish, or the finish chute. I must remember to say that. And he's dropped way down. He's dropped down to, what's that, 7th position now. So that has left a little bit of breathing room for Jeremy Fletcher and Sam Paley, who were battling for the last step on the box. He was trying to go around Sam Paley. He wasn't going to get through there. Sam Paley held his line. A little bit of hip and shoulder, but I think that's all right. Yeah, no, I think it's all right. As he had to get back onto the track, we'll leave race control to make those decisions.
Gabe Tesh has resumed, by the way. Very, very long time in Sector 2, but at least he is going once again. So the driver, the number 16, has managed to continue for MDK Motorsport.
Now, Alex Bachura was not battling with Gabe for position in class, but clearly wanted to be through because he was in his own battle in the Legends class. So he's got a little bit of a sort of Damocles over him at the moment. Leaders into lapped traffic now and dealing with it very nicely as they go through and pass. Who was that? That was the 31 Reed Sweeney, wasn't it? In the blue car that they went through.
66 of Cal Kearns, but Tyler Maxson, Tyler the Tiger, got held up through there just a little bit, coming through turn 13, and it opened the door ever so slightly for Robert Noaker. There is a little bit of space between those two cars once again now, John, but this is definitely giving Noaker the incentive he needs to try and make the pass for the win.
Goes round the outside into turn 4. Now he's got to keep it there, roll off the brakes, and then go into the left-hander, at least alongside, but he can't make that happen this time because Maxson is super late on the brakes. There's about 3 things I like about Tyler Maxson's car. I love the orange and black. I like the black hood, the black bonnet. That is very me looking at Mustangs when I was in my formative years. And the third thing is everything else. To be honest, because these Mustangs look and sound fantastic, and the stick shift option in a race car is right up my, I was going to say right up my street, I suppose we should say right up our track. It keeps the cost down as well, of course. Very robust driveline on these V8 engined race cars. The Dark Horse are available in the UK in right-hand drive. Yet to see one, I've got to say. See plenty of Mustangs. Out of the pits there for Gabe Tesh. He's dropped off the lead lap now. Still 9th in the Dark Horse class though, so he's picking up a few points. Coming down to the last 5 minutes, the leaders are at the keyhole. Battle still going on between Alex Bachura and Zach Lee, and right in there is Brandon Godovic, as well as Chloe Chambers is getting involved in that as well, having a much better race. Big sideways slide and burning up the rear tyres from the Chrome 48. That's Zach Lee in second position in the Legends class. Who's in third at the moment? That's Nick Smither, isn't it?
Yeah, Nick Smither doing a fantastic job in today's race, just keeping calm. But for Zach Lee, this is a critical point in the race. Stu and Stephen McAleer or Chad McCumbee, any of the guys who run McCumbee McAleer Racing, please get on the radio to Zachary Lee and tell him just be patient. There is a 10-second penalty coming the way of Alex Bashura for that incident with Gabe Tesh in the number 16. All Zachary Lee needs to do is stay within 10 seconds of Bashura, and he'll be awarded the win. You don't need to make the pass on the track. Please don't throw this away.
20. He's only a second behind at the moment. Nick Smithers, well, he's more than 10 seconds. Nick Smither, excuse me, is more than 10 seconds back, but he's just put his fastest lap of the race in, so maybe he has been given the hurry up. Nice inside pass into turn 4. Oh, big lock up again for the multicoloured car. That car's been in the wars this weekend. As we said, it looked like at one stage it was just attracting other cars and has continued. How about the battle between the purple and blue car? This is the number 58, coming around the far side of the course at the moment. That is Nick Smither. And the 52 in behind is, well, that's not
several
the
laps
position,
down.
I don't think.
Nope.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Threw me out there. That's Christian Bach, isn't it? Who's got a quick car. But remember, he was off in the gravel at turn 1 in that 13 car. That's just what threw me in that car behind, the 52. Right, let's get back to the leaders as we are under 3 minutes to go, so potentially a couple or 3 laps here, Shea. Teammates, and it's teammate versus team owner, first and second at the moment. Now, we've talked to many a team owner who races against his customers and his teammates, and he always says, I don't care so long as one of my team cars wins. Noaker won yesterday. Maxon had a fantastic fight back to get some points. In terms of the championship, if they finished this way around today, it wouldn't be the worst thing for either of them.
No, it wouldn't, and the bonus points that I mentioned, that does come into play as well. Tyler Maxon with the pole position, that did give him the 10-point advantage, so there is that to keep in mind. But for Robert Noaker, he's a racer. He just wants to win races. Yes, his name is on the trailer, and yes, he has customers to worry about, but still, this is racing, and you want to be the person to not only win the first race of the championship, check that off the list, he wants to be the one to sweep the first weekend, to be the first person to dominate, yes, to be the first champion, but to try and get this season end prize, because if you win the Dark Horse category, it's $100,000. That's towards a GT3 or a GT4 test, and Robert Noaker would love that opportunity. So ultimately, it's eyes on what happens at the end of the season, and right now his eyes are on the back of the Tiger car, trying to size up a way to get by, because it should be white flag next time by.
I agree with your arithmetic on the time. The base 60 maths coming into it. Just had a squeal of a tortured Michelin tyre there in our headset. Was that somewhere else on the track? A minute to go, pretty much exactly. Should be the white flag across the finish line this time around, and there it is. Well, what a weekend it's been for Robert Noaker Racing. They locked out the front row in race 1. Robert Noaker takes the victory in race 1. Tyler Maxon on pole position for both races. And now they're first and second with under a lap to go in race 2. I'd say this has been already a very successful weekend for RNR. Can Robert Noaker make it a delightful double? Or will Tyler Maxon just put the block on that? Overtaking cars that have had problems down towards turn 4, getting on for half a lap completed. Maxon did not feel the need to defend there into turn 4. Noaker, a respectful distance, I would say, at this point, Shea does not seem to be challenging the number 74 car, the orange and black Tyler the Tiger Maxson machine that sits ahead of him. That's stuck now. That is stuck.
Apologies for the girlish
Tell him
giggle,
if he
but
doesn't
that,
like it,
that
we
can't
will
go
stop.
away.
Yeah. Tell him we will stop if he doesn't like it.
Okay.
You know, he might not like tigers. You know, maybe he was a Fruit Loops person, not a Frosties. Big slide into the final corner of the Mustang Challenge. What a successful weekend it's been for Robert Noaker Racing. They've declared themselves as one of the championship favourites, and it's a win apiece for Tyler Maxson and Robert Noaker, who finished first and second after dominating the qualifying sessions as well. Jeremy Fletcher will hold on in third for Macumbi Macalia Racing, with Sam Pauley just off the podium in fourth. And in Legends, the first and second place cars are coming through. Alex Pachura will come through and take the flag on the road, but his 10-second penalty will mean that he loses that top spot.
Well, we have to watch for the gap. We have to see how big the gap is. It's not enough.
Yeah. Pachura already relegated behind Zach Lee, the number 48. Zach Lee finishing 8th on corrected time. Alex Pachura finishing in 9th position. Alex did a really good job. He pulled out 4 seconds in those last few minutes on Zach Lee, but not enough to hang on. Looks like Jim Farley's going to come home despite his little incident at the keyhole. He's going to come home to a top 10 in the general classification. That could be 8th position in Dark Horse. There he goes across the line now in front of the Ford Performance Broadcast Centre. And we're just waiting for Nick Smithers to come across the line. And in fact, there he is. Smithers, in fact, has gone through ahead of Jim Farley. So at the end there, Jim Farley drops down to 11th position. I'm guessing that Jim Farley, because he went across the line first, he must have had a penalty as well for that contact with Tom Tate, wasn't it, that he ran into at
Correct.
the keyhole. And that is exactly what has happened. So Nick Smithers gets third on the podium for the Legends and finishes 10th overall. But what a weekend for Tyler Maxson. It was a case of what might have been in the first race, although he got good points, but he has converted the pole positions in the second race. Unofficially then, the top 7 are taken up by the Dark Horse competitors, with Chloe Chambers having a much better race today to follow Brandon Godovich home. Zach Lee on corrected time beats Alex Pachura after Alex's indiscretion up at the keyhole, and Nick Smithers is in third. Jim Farley at the keyhole as well, got a time penalty. He finishes in 11th, that's 8th in the Dark Horse category. Mike Stillwagon with the first weekend, got the car home twice. Problems for people at the bottom of the results. Well, a brilliant weekend for Robert Noaker Racing. They take a 1-2 in the second race after Robert himself took the top step of the podium in the opening race of this brand new championship. Shea Adam has been with me in the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre. The good news is, as you've liked this, we'll be covering every single round across the season. Ford Mustang Challenge for 2024 with IMSA Radio and IMSA TV. I'm John Hindhaugh. Bye-bye.